Hello, world. Um, I thought I'd do a little video, and um, today is January 25th, 2026. And it's so funny because I feel like sometimes when I look at my birth certificates um, and I see record dates, and there's two different kinds of records, two state file numbers in the state of Massachusetts. The 25th, January 25th, 1973, there was actually a different record date for my original copy. So I feel like today's like my birthday. Isn't that funny? So anyway, so I would like to also share. I know I've talked on here about how there is a case called The Secret, um, and this case, being supposed to be top secret, has really not turned into a secret, and it's pretty obvious. I like to be able to share on here just so that if I'm reaching anyone who's never heard my story or has ever listened on here, the news and the networks have been entangled into this case, so they don't report. And the presidents and politicians don't want this to be able to be aired on television, because if they did, then this would be a way for them to not be able to impersonate one of the profiles of The Secret, which are kings of Italy and of the UK as well. And so they don't, publicize this. That's why TV networks and the celebrity list has been this has been going on for so long. But it's almost ridiculous because, when we see some of the news media reporting how involved our U.S. president right now, and even the former ones. So it's not even just this present president. Because it's so easy to take a celebrity president like Donald Trump and go, okay, we can just keep blaming him. But it's not just Donald Trump. He's in there for a reason, and a lot of the reason is because he's been the realtor that has been in The Secret for, gosh, especially since the 80s, when Reagan really called upon him to be involved behind the scenes with a lot of the dirty politics. So, and again, this is not about a Republican or Democratic perspective that I have, but being the child who was born in 1973 and not being given the information, I wanted to shed some light, because even though I've had to learn to move on, my main goal, there was a couple of them. I know God, and I know prayer, and I pray all the time. I have a daughter, Trinity, who lives in Brooklyn, New York, and if you're listening, Trinity, I absolutely love you. I just, like any parent, I'm always thinking of her, and I'm always thinking, how can I leave this earth, Lord, doing everything I can to be a person of truth and and I don't know if everyone else thinks the way I do, but really, I think patriots, people who really laid down their life in this country, so that their future seed and children could have a better life. And we don't see that kind of patriotism anymore, and we need that. We really, really need that from everybody. I come from a family line, and there's a lot, though actually not one, but there's like a lot, maybe several lines in my roots that are very historical. Irish, British, Irish, Italian, and from the Boston area. And so when I think on that, and rubbing shoulders with the Kennedys and being world changers and seeing our country be what we know as great, I take a lot of pride in that, and I want to build on to that, and I really am. And it's not for me, but it's unto the Lord. And so when I see family members that are coming up on my Instagram, because socialites who have been doing work, dirty work with our FBI, and I've kind of renamed them because they're really Facebook intelligence instead of the Federal Bureau of Investigations. They really are. The Facebook intelligence, FBI, has hired people to work under them to doing a lot of the celebrities and involvement with politics. And it's been awful. It's been sometimes good, maybe, but mostly not good. The UK family has been so celebrity based, especially since Elizabeth had televised the coronation, and we haven't really seen a recovery since her decision to televise something very special and sacred and holy. The leadership of that family line has been operating on a falsehood, and so there really hasn't been a storytelling of truth and reveal. We buy a lot of panties and bras called Victoria's Secret, yet that is a real case. And because of the way that this secret has been passed down generation to generation, and I am the last one since 1973 that had a treaty or some kind of, it was called The Secret. I was left with a lot of the men in my family dying before the age of 57, and leaving me to have to figure out all of this on my own. So I looked on Instagram today, and I noticed how there is a family member named Barbara Ferrara, and so that's one of my lines in the Boston area. The Ferrara name is, my godmother is a Ferrara, a Salvatore. Her mother was a de Guglielmo. And because of the falsehood and the wrongfulness of abuse that's been done with the Roman Catholic Church godparent profiling to this case, I was going to write Pope Leo a message, so I just thought I'd put this on record here in video, is that not only do I want the roots or any of the lines of any sexual predator from the priesthood to be completely removed from any of my documents, as well as my father's documents. I believe they do that anyway. But not only that, I would like there to not be a consideration for godparents to be on my record or also on my father's record. There has been parental and spiritual abuse, and I would like there to be no consideration for their position in my life. They have never been there for me, and they should never be able to have any kind of endorsement or consideration of any kind. They have dishonored God, and they also have dishonored their parents, and so in me. So I just wanted to make sure I'm clear about that. And so Barbara Ferrara profile was coming up with a black picture, and I don't know if that's some way to kind of target our black or our military defense, known as the Department of War, but I take offense to that. And so I really would like there to be a cleanup of that. And I want to make sure that I let the world know, and also especially anyone in Boston, I do not cover up. I will not cover up. And it's not just because the media decided to highlight, spotlight, and sexual scandals, but I will not cover up the media as well. They're as dirty as the priests are. There has been more than just a sex scandal. It's money involved. And there's been a reason why there's been cover up. And it's because of the secret. We are as sick as the secrets we keep, and I will not keep a secret. So I will continue to tell on anyone and use my platform here on my account to be able to tell the world the truth. But I will not cover up. Thanks for listening, and please pray.